If you've ever wished you understood your cat a little better, the secret might be hiding in the way they sleep beside you. We often think closeness is random with animals, but their choices are rarely without intention. Those soft steps into your room may reveal more about your relationship than any dramatic gesture ever could. And once you understand that meaning, the way you see your nights together begins to shift. In this video, you'll learn the gentle message your cat has been sharing all along. And if you'd like to uncover more small, meaningful insights like this, you're invited to like the video and stay with us. Chapter 1. The Ultimate Vulnerable Position. Belly Up. Have you ever noticed how strangely exposed your cat looks when they roll onto their back, as if nothing in the world could possibly harm them? In that moment, your home becomes more than just a space they occupy. It turns into a place where their deepest instincts finally relax. A cat's belly holds the organs they're wired to protect at all costs. So when they show it to you without hesitation, it reveals a level of faith they don't offer lightly. Even if your hand reaches out and they twitch or react, that response isn't distrust. It's the automatic reflex written into them long before you ever met. What matters is that they chose the position at all, trusting that you'd understand the difference between their nature and their intention. And when you start seeing that small gesture for what it really is, you begin to notice how their other sleeping choices whisper their own quiet messages too. Chapter 2. Meaning behind specific sleeping positions. Individually, these little choices seem harmless, but together they reveal far more about how your cat feels than most people realize. Every place your cat settles into at night holds an emotional fingerprint. Even if it looks like simple convenience on the surface, you start to see that a spot on your bed, the couch, or even a corner of the room isn't random at all, because cats speak in locations long before they speak in actions. And when a cat chooses a position that leaves them open or tucked or hidden, it quietly reflects the level of trust they're willing to offer in that moment. You begin to understand that their sleeping habits are a soft language, one built out of instinct and comfort, and the relationships they allow themselves to lean into. And once you feel that truth settle in, you naturally start paying attention to the positions themselves, because each one carries a meaning of its own. Chapter 3. Decoding 5 Common Sleeping Positions. Your cat's sleeping spot on your bed isn't an accident, and the position they choose tells you more than you might expect. When they settle at your feet, it often shows they trust you enough to stay close, while still keeping a little of their natural independence intact. There's a quiet balance there, a mix of closeness and strategy, because your feet give them both comfort and an easy escape route if their instincts suddenly wake up. But when they curl beside your body, something in them softens, and the bond shifts into something that feels more like family than simple cohabitation. And if they choose your pillow or nestle against your head, it reveals a kind of attachment that's guided by scent and familiarity, as though being close to your breath helps them fall asleep. Then there are those moments when they sprawl across your chest or stomach, grounding themselves with your heartbeat, or the nights they stay just an arm's length away, curled nearby in a way that blends trust with instinctive caution. And noticing these patterns makes you realize that their choices don't just fill your bed, they unfold the emotional map of how they feel about you. Chapter 4. Other high-trust sleeping indicators. If you want to understand your cat on a deeper level, watching how they relax around you can quietly reveal more than you expect. There's a softness that appears when your cat stretches onto their side with their legs extended, almost as if they're letting go of the need to stay alert. And that kind of vulnerability doesn't happen unless they feel truly safe. Even the small act of covering their face with a paw, which looks so effortless and cute, actually blocks part of their vision, something they wouldn't risk unless they trusted their surroundings completely. And when you see multiple pets in the home sleeping close together, especially near you, it shows a rare kind of harmony, the kind that forms only when everyone feels protected within the same emotional space. Moments like these often go unnoticed, yet they quietly confirm that your cat sees you not as a resource, but as part of their chosen family. And once you start to notice these gentle signs of trust, it becomes easier to understand why they gravitate toward you when it's finally time to rest. Chapter 5. Why cats choose to sleep with their owners. If you want to feel closer to your cat in a way that doesn't need words, understanding why they sleep beside you can quietly deepen that bond. It's easy to forget that cats live with a mind shaped by two worlds at once: the confident hunter and the cautious creature who knows how quickly danger can appear. So when they choose your bed, it isn't just about softness or habit. It's about surrendering a layer of vigilance they usually guard so carefully. You become the place where their instincts can rest, the presence that allows their tense awareness to finally loosen. And woven into that choice are a few simple reasons: safety, comfort, warmth, and a connection they can't express in any other way. But each of those reasons circles back to the same truth: they feel emotionally anchored to you. And once you see that, it becomes clear that their nightly routine isn't a small gesture at all, but one of the most honest ways a cat shows you they trust the world a little more when you're near. Chapter 6. Protection and Security. Your cat doesn't sleep beside you just for comfort. They do it because, in their mind, you are their safest place in the world. It's a surprising truth, especially when you remember how deeply their instincts are shaped by a constant awareness of danger. When they close their eyes next to you, they're allowing themselves a kind of vulnerability they rarely risk anywhere else, trusting that you'll notice what they won't while they drift into deeper sleep. And there's something quietly moving about that. This tiny creature choosing your presence as a shield, as if your nearness creates a bubble where nothing bad can reach them. You might not feel like a protector, but to them, your body, your scent, and even your breathing form a barrier that lets their guard fall in ways it doesn't during the rest of their day. And once you see how much security they borrow from you, it becomes impossible not to notice the softer reasons behind all the places they choose to rest. Chapter 7. Warmth and Physical Comfort. Your cat isn't drawn to your bed because it's special. They're drawn to you because you're the warmest thing in their world. Their bodies run hotter than ours, and yet they lose heat quickly. So they instinctively seek out places where that warmth can settle and stay. When they press themselves against your legs or curl into the dip of your blanket, it isn't just convenience. It's a quiet way of borrowing comfort from your presence. And there's something tender in the way they choose your body over any heated spot in the house, as if your warmth feels different, softer, more trustworthy. Even the rhythm of your breathing becomes part of that comfort, creating a steady environment where their muscles finally loosen and their sleep deepens. And once you feel that tiny weight leaning into you with such simple contentment, you begin to realize how much of their nighttime peace comes from the gentle heat you didn't even know you were offering. Chapter 8. Territory and Marking Behavior. Most people assume their cat sleeps in the bed because it's convenient, but that isn't the full story at all. When your cat settles into your blankets or presses their face into your pillow, they're quietly claiming that space as part of their world, weaving their scent into the fabric of your nightly routine. It's not possessive in a harsh way. It's more like a gentle declaration that this place and the person in it feel familiar and safe enough to belong to. And when they knead the sheets with those slow, rhythmic motions or rub their cheeks along the edge of the mattress, they're leaving tiny markers that say, "This is mine, and I choose to share it with you." There's something unexpectedly intimate about that, because cats don't mark what they don't value, and they don't claim territory they don't intend to return to. And the more you notice these small rituals, the easier it becomes to understand that sleeping beside you isn't just comfort. It's their way of folding you into the borders of their little universe. Chapter 9. Emotional Bonding and Affection. Last night, when your cat slowly climbed onto the bed and curled against you, as if guided by something deeper than habit, it revealed more than most people realize. Moments like that carry an emotional weight, because cats don't offer closeness casually. And when they choose your presence for sleep, it reflects a bond shaped quietly over time. You might notice how their breathing softens when you're near, or how their body settles more fully, as if your steadiness gives them permission to let go of the day. And even though they show affection differently than we do, their choice to rest beside you is one of the purest ways they say they feel connected to you. It's a small act, but it hints at something warm happening inside them. A rise in comfort, a sense of companionship, a feeling of being understood without pressure or noise. And once you start recognizing those gentle signs for what they are, you begin to see how deeply your presence shapes the way they experience their world. Chapter 10. Warning signs in changed sleeping patterns. Have you ever wondered why a cat who normally curls beside you suddenly disappears into a corner you've barely seen them use? Changes like that can feel small at first, but for a creature that communicates through routine, they're often the loudest signals they know how to send. A cat who withdraws from your bed or hides for long stretches isn't trying to distance themselves emotionally. They might be trying to cope with discomfort they can't explain in any other way. And when their sleep turns restless, or they pace as if they can't settle, it often reflects an uneasiness inside their body or mind that needs gentle attention. Even more concerning is when they lie in strange, inappropriate places, like the litter box, because those moments usually mean they're searching for relief from something they can't escape. And once you begin noticing these shifts, you naturally start thinking about how to create a space where they feel safe enough to rest again. Chapter 11. Strengthening the bond through sleep. If you want to quietly deepen your connection with your cat, the way you shape their sleeping environment can make a bigger difference than you might think. A warm, calm space invites them to let their guard down. And when they sense that softness around you, their instinct to stay close grows naturally. Sometimes all it takes is offering an easy path onto the bed, or smoothing a blanket where they like to settle, especially if age or stiffness makes jumping harder than it used to be. And as your nights fall into a steady rhythm, your cat begins to trust those quiet moments, treating bedtime as something shared rather than something solitary. Even giving them a small spot that's theirs, a pillow, a corner, a folded blanket, shows them you respect their comfort without pushing into their boundaries. And before long, you start to feel how these tiny choices build a sense of safety that brings them back to you, night after night, in the softest and most honest expression of companionship they have. It's beautiful how something as simple as sleep can show you just how deeply your cat trusts the life you've built around them. And if you've ever questioned whether they feel close to you, their quiet presence at night is the kind of reassurance that doesn't need explanation. The heart of it all is realizing that closeness for a cat is never loud. It's a series of small decisions that slowly gather meaning. And once you start noticing those decisions, it changes how you see the way they move through your home and around your body. That understanding becomes even more important when you watch how they behave while awake, especially when they choose a spot just within reach. It's a choice many people misunderstand, even though it carries its own form of affection. So if you want to understand what your cat is telling you when they sit beside you rather than on you, the next video opens that door gently.